Ready to break free from algorithms, vanity PR, and money-sucking ads? My name's Larissa Warstiak, and I've learned in 7 years of jewelry marketing that content is the crown jewel. My agency, Joy Joya, takes a holistic approach, leading with laser-focused storytelling, impactful content creation, and strategic content distribution. This method has worked for the solopreneur as well as a multi-million-dollar company, and now I'm sharing my systems and tactics with you. Here's to standing out in a sea of sparkle. This is episode 225, and today I'm going to be debuting an exciting new direction for the podcast, as well as a free program that will help you kick off 2023 with all the resources you'll need to make this year a banner year. If you're a fan and follower of this podcast, thanks for returning. You're likely familiar with my previous format where I alternated between interviews and business and marketing tips on Sundays and the gold mine on Wednesdays. And if you're new, welcome. You are joining at exactly the perfect time. So from now through early July of this year, I'll be rolling out a free 6-month podcast guided program called Jewelry Marketing Jumpstart, which will involve weekly audio and video lessons, as well as the companion PDF downloads for each new episode. I'll continue doing the gold mine as well, but it'll be wrapped into these weekly episodes as a brief segment rather than in individual episodes. I'll also keep adding in interviews as bonus episodes whenever I come across someone I think will really provide value to you. And I'll still give my news roundup, but it'll be toward the end of the episode rather than at the beginning. So listen through to the end of this one if you love the news and you really want to get this week's scoop. I'll explain everything you obviously want to know in just a few moments about this 6-month jewelry marketing jumpstart. But if you want to sign up for free right now, without waiting any longer, visit joyjoya.com/jump. Link in the show notes as well. That's joyjoya.com/jump to sign up for this free 6-month program. But before we get to the solid gold, I'd like to take a moment to remind you that this podcast has both audio and video, so you can either listen on your favorite podcast platform or watch on YouTube by searching Joy Joya. You can support the podcast for free by taking the time not only to subscribe, but also to leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. I want to read my favorite review of the week. Stone Cooper says, I have been listening to Joy Joya for over a year now, and I find Larissa's ideas and advice to be so informative and creative. I find myself looking forward to new episodes and sometimes practically hear her advice or action steps in the back of my head when I'm working. I love that. Thank you. If you leave a review, I might read it on a future episode. So please let me know what you think about this one or about any other major takeaways that you've had recently. Okay, my sparklers, let's talk about Jewelry Marketing Jumpstart. So as I mentioned in the intro, this is a free 6-month program that you'll be able to follow weekly on this podcast in your preference of audio or video. All you have to do is keep listening or watching as you've been doing all along. Or if you're new, just make sure to subscribe and keep listening or watching. If you want to dive even deeper into the topics that I'll be presenting over the next 6 months, I would love to offer that for you for free. You can visit joyjoya.com/jump and you'll be subscribed to get the weekly companion downloads that will complement each episode. You can think of them as your roadmap to growth in 2023. So who's this program for? If you say yes to one or more of these things, I highly recommend you sign up by visiting joyjoya.com/jump. You're a jewelry business owner or marketing leader who's wondering how to maximize your marketing efforts while you're also wearing many other hats in the business. You've wrestled with social media algorithms. You've wondered whether money you spend on ads, PR, or freelancers is actually worth it. You're probably frustrated, confused, and uncertain about the future of your business. You have goals for your jewelry business, but you're not sure how marketing can help you reach them. You're wondering why marketing isn't fun anymore. You don't feel like you have a strategy in your approach to marketing. Do any of those points resonate with you? Then this is definitely a program that you'll want to follow and get you on track for success this year. This free Jumpstart program is meant to show you a new way forward, one that will help you achieve your business goals for this year and beyond without the frustration. You'll gain time to be creative in your business, develop new products, and be able to engage meaningfully with your customers and business partners. I don't know about you, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what you can achieve this year. This episode is mostly to explain the transition and to let you know what's to come, to invite you to visit joyjoya.com/jump to sign up for this program and get your first welcome PDF download. Moving forward, you'll also get an email whenever a new free resource drops, which will be weekly. And when I see your name on the sign-up list, I'll know that you're a smart jewelry pro who's one step closer to success and joy in jewelry marketing. So please stick around for the gold mine as well as my jewelry marketing news roundup. If you've been following this podcast, you know that I launched the Gold Mine in August of last year as a secondary episode every week. Moving forward, I'm going to continue doing the Gold Mine, but I'm going to move it as a segment to my weekly Sunday podcast. This week's topic is all about giving yourself gifts in your jewelry business and how doing so can get you on the fast track to your goals. As a jewelry business owner, I'm sure you know a lot about gifts. We're really in the gifting business. You help your customers find gifts, not only for other people, but also for themselves. And I think it's time, now that the holidays are over, that you give yourself a gift. We're at the beginning of the year. I've been reflecting a lot on change and how so many people I encounter in this industry kind of sleepily waltz into January because they're just so exhausted from the holidays. I totally get that because I'm right there with them as a marketer, supporting them with their email campaigns, with their marketing strategy for the holidays. I know the holiday season can be exhausting and there's a lot of pressure to perform. So most of the time, January ends up feeling like a slow start. I know that many people are even playing catch up on business and marketing tasks that just never got resolved before the holidays. And then they end up getting completely blown off in November and December. Hey, it happens. There's other stuff that takes precedence and is more urgent and important at the time. But I don't know about you. I kind of hate that feeling of being stuck in the past year when I'm really trying to focus on going into a new year with a fresh start, with my new slate of goals, things I want to achieve. At this time of year in January, I honestly can't even remember what I was working on in November and December because the holidays just have this habit of wiping your brain. So I know about myself, and I'm sure this is true about you, I can't do my best work if I'm going backwards or stuck in the past. And I bet that you can relate to that as well. And it's really hard to play catch up in January when you have no idea what was even going on in Q4 of last year. It's very disorienting. So let's pretend there's a world where you could have an enthusiastic running start into the new year, one where you actually feel refreshed and motivated and clear on what you're going to achieve. Of course, I believe in rest. You should rest. You should take time to rest after that busy holiday season. But there also needs to be a time when that rest is over and you transition back into your meaningful work. And that transition should really be as seamless as possible so that you can start the new year in forward thinking, positive movement mode rather than trying to play catch up from 2022. It's a little late now to undo anything you left behind in 2022. I'm not saying like forget about that. You need to tie up those loose ends, but it's not too late. In fact, it's the perfect time to be setting yourself up for this year all the way through December 2023 so that you can start 2024 clear-eyed and leave 2023 in a nice package, feel really good about it, and be forward thinking in January rather than sleepily waltzing into the new year. The answer to that is not sexy, unfortunately. It really comes down to planning. If you find that January is typically a slow time for you sales-wise, then it's time to start putting pen to calendar right now and start visioning out the full year ahead. And this is the gift that you're going to give yourself. Your brain is going to tempt you. I know because this happens to me too. Your brain is going to say, oh, you don't need to be worrying about that now. It's so far in the future. It's not something that you really need to be dealing with at this time. But try not to listen to that voice in your head. Give yourself this gift and try to plan further ahead than you ever have before, further ahead than you think is even possible or that you think is necessary. Because you can always go into that future plan and revise it. But when that busy season does come, which it will, you'll be able to look at your calendar and say, wow, I actually did all this work already. I actually did this for myself. I'm more prepared than I even realized I was. And you want to get to a point in your business that you actually can't even believe you already took the time to do something. And you're sitting there giving high fives to your past self for pushing back that temptation to not worry about this now. And if you can get in the habit of doing this, the holidays will start to feel seamless, easy, more efficient. You'll be able to experiment more with your marketing. You'll be able to put out the best business and marketing content possible, maybe even better than you thought was possible. So right now in January 2023, even into February, is a great time to sit down, assess the performance of holiday 2022, and start planning for the timeline of the full year ahead. And you may, in your timeline, even want to plan to do and execute on things sooner than you've ever done before, like pre-planning, pre-scheduling content, so you can actually just focus December on sales, fulfillment, relaxing, and planning for January of next year so that nothing ends up getting rolled over from the end of the year into the new year. The ultimate goal is not to be playing catch up in January, but to be looking forward only. Basically, what I'm saying, I'm challenging you to time block 2 to 3 hours of uninterrupted time right now, or sometime in the future, near future, and try to do a preliminary look at the full year if you haven't already done so. But if you have, awesome, good job. And then I want you to resolve for yourself that throughout the year, if you have downtime, not rest time, but maybe time you would have otherwise spent scrolling on your phone or surfing the internet or done something mindless, and you do have the energy, instead of doing those kind of mindless things, use that time to do something for the future of your business. So as I said, your future self can say, dang, I did that for myself and now I'm already one step ahead, and high-fiving yourself, because that is one of the best feelings, and it's also one of the best ways to really get on track to achieving your goals. And that's what I want for you this year. Okay, let's talk about some news related to jewelry or marketing, and you can get the links to the articles I talk about in the show notes. So the first article comes from Neil Patel's blog. If you're not familiar with Neil Patel, I suggest you look him up if you have an interest in marketing. He's kind of a marketing influencer, and he shares a ton of really helpful content. So this article is called How Marketers Are Spending Their Money in 2023. And they asked more than 8,000 marketers in a survey. So if you're wondering how you should be effectively spending your marketing budget this year, definitely this is an excellent resource, because it gives you true insights into how real marketers are reallocating their budget this year versus in previous years. And I just want to highlight some of the stats that I found the most interesting and the most relevant. One of the most striking stats I found from this article was that 68% of companies surveyed, 68% said they'd be increasing their SEO or search optimization budget in 2023. What is the reason for that? The companies polled said that they can count on SEO to provide a higher ROI than paid advertising. Now, of course, to see results from SEO could potentially take a little longer than advertising, but it does these days have a potential for higher ROI. And that's kind of a theme in this survey about advertising. When it comes to organic social media, meaning social media marketing without advertising, 42% of people surveyed are actually decreasing their budget because they don't believe that social media is providing as high ROI as in the past. 83% are increasing their content production budget due to a need to create content in multiple formats, including video, of course. 56% of companies said they would increase their email marketing budget, especially email marketing automation. And then when it comes to social media advertising on Facebook and Instagram, more than 50% split around the same for Facebook and Instagram, are deciding to decrease their social media advertising budget for this coming year. So my main takeaway is that it sounds like brands are distrustful of ROI from ads, especially social media advertising, and they also don't believe they can get return on investment from organic social media marketing. The next article comes from Forbes, and it's called How to Reduce E-commerce Returns After the Holidays with UGC. UGC is an acronym that means user-generated content. So if during the holiday season you've experienced a high or even less than ideal rate of returns for your jewelry business, you may want to try leaning into UGC or user-generated content. Or even not specific to the holiday season, but just in general, you find that returns are a problem for your business, this could be a good tactic for you. Per the results of a recent report, return rates are growing faster than revenue growth rates for 91% of retailers surveyed. That is very crazy. I think a lot of consumers, not that they don't want to be shopping in store, but they found that the in-store experience is changing so much and they're not finding enough diversity of product in store. So people feel like they have to buy a lot of things online. But as you know, probably from your own online shopping experience, it can be hard to gauge the sizes of things, to know if something will look good on you. And that ultimately can result in you returning more items. And the same is true for jewelry. So for jewelry, some reasons that people return things could be it's not the size or the scale the person expected from the photos. Maybe they can't wear the jewelry the way they thought they could wear or style it. Maybe it doesn't look good on their particular body type or with their skin, hair, or eye coloring, and it was hard for them to tell that based on the photo, or there wasn't a model who was representative of them. So seeing a product on a real life person, thus the user-generated content, can help a customer really be more informed about their purchase before they decide to buy and then have regret about it and end up returning the product. So one thing you can consider doing is sourcing that user-generated content from your best customers, including them on product detail pages, in addition to the professional e-commerce photos and videos that you would have on your product detail pages. Definitely showcase that user-generated content on social media, in your email marketing campaigns, and make sure when you do get user-generated content that you're representing a diverse range of customers. So people with different body types, skin color, hair color, maybe even like style preferences, to really show how one piece of jewelry can look on a lot of different types of real life people. My main takeaway is returns can be very costly and honestly annoying for jewelry brands. So taking the step of sourcing and then really utilizing user-generated content can potentially help reduce this expense and annoyance. And then the last article comes from JCK, and it's called Jewelry Sales Fell 5.4% Over Holiday Survey Says. So JCK recently spotlighted some stats about consumer spending on jewelry over the holidays. This data comes from MasterCard Spending Pulse, which throughout most of 2022 recorded really strong gains in jewelry sales, and they were very optimistic about the holiday season. They predicted that jewelry sales would rise 2% this holiday season. Unfortunately, they were wrong, and jewelry sales ended up falling 5.4%. The other interesting things about the results of this survey was that consumer spending was up overall, with retail sales rising 7.6% this year over 2021. So what exactly were consumers buying instead? They were increasingly spending money on experiences rather than goods. Restaurant spending rose 15.1%. Another really interesting finding from this survey was that Black Friday has reclaimed its title as the busiest shopping day of the year, and consumers were definitely seeking heavy discounts and deals this year. So maybe brands that don't do that Black Friday discount were at a slight disadvantage because that was really the consumer expectation in Q4. Not saying that should make you change your discounting or pricing strategy, but I do think that that was the reality for a lot of consumers worried about the economy and inflation. My main takeaway is not really a takeaway. It's more of a question. So did you experience kind of this similar pattern during the holiday season? I'd kind of love to know your own experience of holiday 2022. So what did you think? Did you have questions about Jewelry Marketing Jumpstart? Again, you can visit joyjoya.com/jump to sign up, get the free welcome PDF, and every PDF moving forward through July. It's all free. It will always be free. I would love to see you find success this year. You can always email me, Larissa, that's LARYSSA @joyjoya.com. If you love this podcast, please share it with a friend who'd appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe as well as leave a review on Apple Podcasts. If you're completely new to digital marketing, then you'll want to purchase and read a copy of my book, Jewelry Marketing Joy. Visit joyjoya.com/book for more information.